Hey guys, I'm back with part 2 of my Gohastings review. We don't have that many left, so let's just keep going. So, The Last House on the Left remake. First one's a classic. It still has I guess like the Walmart or Best Buy sticker on it. I don't know what it is. Comes with a slipcover. Slipcover, a little worse for wear, but Last House on the Left. Looking forward to it. You know, I own so many movies with this title, and it's The Pulse. This is the Japanese horror movie. I also own the American remake, Pulse 2, Pulse 3. And I also own like an electrical ghost movie called Pulse. It was kind of boring, but I just surprised by how many different things are called Pulse. I picked up the original Japanese version, just because. Up next is another sequel of a movie I own, and that's 2001 Maniacs. This is the second one, The Field of Screams. The first one that stars Robert Englund. It was pretty good. Robert Englund isn't in this one. He's been replaced by Bill Moseley. And it just looks like a whole bunch of craziness, big boobs, stuff like that. And again with the remake, we have Friday the 13th, the Killer Cut. I know this is on Blu-ray and all that crazy jazz. But I paid 90 cents for this. I don't really feel like paying, whether it's cheap, and a lot of people got these at the 99-cent Blu-ray sale from Blockbuster. But I figured for 90 cents on DVD, that's just fine enough for me. Friday the 13th, The Killer Cut. I watched this. I wasn't really impressed by it, but I do love Jason. He's awesome. Up next is kind of like an American remake, but they kind of retitled it of a Japanese film, and that was A Tale of Two Sisters, and this is kind of like the remake to it. The American remake to it, and that's The Uninvited, and it stars Emily Browning, which I kind of have a crush on. She's in the newer movie Sucker Punch, the blonde with the pigtails, and I've seen this, and I've seen Tale of Two Sisters. Tale of Two Sisters is way better than Uninvited, but Uninvited is actually not that bad either. And I finally finished my Friday the 13th collection. I owned all of them but the third one, which is kind of funny because it's pretty much like that for all my series. I owned every Halloween movie but the third one. I just picked that up not too long ago. I didn't show it. I haven't watched it yet. I know it has nothing to do with Michael Myers, but we can talk about that when I watch it. But I did pick up Friday the 13th Part 3. This is in 3D. Used, only bad thing. It's only in 3D, so you kind of need these crazy little goggle things. And I only have one. Actually, technically, I have two, except it's all jacked up, and there's no way to put it on your head. So I have some other 3D titles. I probably have to steal those goggles if I ever want to watch it with somebody. But Friday the 13th Part 3, you'll know this is the one where Jason gets his mask and all that good stuff. I've seen all these before. I actually used to own a lot of the Friday the 13th on VHS. So now I have them all on DVD, and I know the first three are on Blu-ray, and the remake's on Blu-ray. I probably won't release the other ones on Blu-ray anytime soon. But yeah, so Friday the 13th Part 3. Up next is a blind buy that the only reason I purchased was because Tony Todd was in it. And that's The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He, on the front cover, I'm assuming that's him, as Mr. Hyde. I'm pretty sure this is just a redo of the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story. And I'm trying to find out, it's released by Image, but I don't know if this is like the gory version or just whatever. But Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, pretty cool. Up next is a movie that kind of was, I don't know, like talked about so much in the last maybe year or two that I had to go out and get it, but I definitely didn't want to pay full price for it. I settled on $1. Paranormal Activity, one of those, mockumentary, fake documentary style horror movies. I actually already watched this. It was pretty good. Not really scary, but it gives you kind of the creepy mood. It's kind of creepy, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't great, but definitely I would watch it if you're looking for something different. Up next is something I picked up was Lucio Fulci's The House by the Cemetery. This is the Anchor Bay release. I can't remember if I've seen this or not, and that's pretty sad. But the coolest thing is it actually, still comes with the insert, and the cover is pretty good. The DVD case is pretty good. Up next, I picked up was an anime title of something that I've never heard of before, and that's Twilight of the Dark Master. Looks like a very gory anime movie, and I don't really know who released this. I've never heard this company before. Third Section Entertainment. I haven't watched it yet. Judging by the trailer, it's one of those crazy ones. So hopefully, Twilight of the Dark Master. I actually like the cover. I like the fact that it's not colored. I don't know why. I don't know. I just thought that looked pretty cool. Up next is a movie that I've tried to watch a few times through Netflix and stuff, but I always get bored. But I end up buying it. I don't know why. Mostly because it was cheap, and that was The Orphanage. This is one of the movies that Guillermo del Toro produced, aka I guess he get paid money for it or read the script for or whatever. And it's kind of slow moving. It's shot beautifully though. But other than that, man, I get so bored watching this. I don't know why. So The Orphanage. Up next is a movie that I bought only because I own the sequel again, and that's Lawnmower Man. I heard a lot of people like this, so I actually can't wait to watch this. Lawnmower Man 2, I most people don't like, but hopefully the first one will be pretty good. It was The Reaping with Hilary Swank. I normally wouldn't buy this, so this is another one of those only because it's cheap type deals. I watched the trailer. I wasn't too impressed with it, but maybe there's a hidden gem in there somewhere. Up next is a movie starring Kristen Stewart. You might know her from Twilight. I've seen the Twilight movies. Man, they're bad. They're really bad movies just in general. I never read the source material. I don't know how well they adapt to the books, but Twilight's terrible. But I'll forgive her because she's been in some other things that are pretty good. So Kristen Stewart in The Messengers. I know there's a sequel to this too. I'll probably pick it up if this is any remotely any good. Squatch movies are terrible. But I decided to pick it up anyways, and that's Primal, released by Lionsgate. I don't really know much about this, so if you do, just go ahead and leave me a comment or anything. Up next is another American remake of a Japanese film, and that's One Missed Call. I do own the first two One Missed Calls from Japan. The first one I think is done by Takashi Miike. It's awesome. I love the first one. I haven't watched the second one yet. Here's the remake. I'm hoping it doesn't. It probably sucks, but again, cheap, bought it, whatever. And again, a remake of a Japanese movie. This time, Dark Water with Jennifer Connelly. I heard this is actually pretty good. Again, if you know anything about it, go ahead, leave me a comment. So, Dark Water. We're just ripping this. Here's an American remake of a Spanish horror movie, and this is Quarantine. I own the first movie, Wreck. I seen Wreck 2 when it was at the Art Theater in Washington, D.C. That was pretty good. I never watched Quarantine, but here it's kind of a shot-for-shot remake of the original Wreck. So hopefully this will be okay. I guess it can't be any worse. Probably is. Quarantine. Up next is a movie that everybody talks about, and I was kind of getting sick of hearing, so I decided to go ahead and buy it so I know what people were talking about. And that's Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell. I'm a fan of older Sam Raimi. Spider-Man movies kind of turned me off a little bit. So hopefully this will be pretty good. His return to form, so to speak. Up next is a movie that I thought was something else, and that was House on Haunted Hill. This is actually a return to the House on Haunted Hill. I wanted the first one because it's the remake of the Vincent Price movie, and I love the Vincent Price movie, House on Haunted Hill. I own like 4 or 5 different copies. It's in public domain. You can probably pick up really cheap. But save yourself the money. Pick up the Warner Brothers if you want the original. I'll have to buy the original before I watch this one, but Return to the House on Haunted Hill. And lastly, man, this is going on forever. I picked up See No Evil. This is the WWF movie. I'm sorry, not WWF anymore. WWE movie. Stars one of the professional wrestlers, Kane. Slasher movie. It looked pretty decent in production values. I actually was pretty surprised by the trailer. And so yeah, I decided I'd go ahead and pick it up and see what all the hubbub was. Released by Lionsgate, so hopefully that's good. So thanks for sticking around. That was a lot of titles. I'm not sure how many there was. I ended up getting, I talked about this earlier, but I ended up getting 2 movies that I couldn't, I got refunded because they were just not what I ordered. The first one was the Japanese The Eye. I ended up getting the remake, but they refunded it and told me to keep the remake, so that essentially is free. Another one that I picked up was The Orphan, and I really wanted to see that, but they sent me a rental copy, and I was okay with, I'm usually okay. A lot of these were rental copies too, but it was a special rental copy, and like it had no special features. Like I know the original Orphan has like alternate, like delete scenes and alternate ending and stuff like that. But this was actually a rental copy. Like on the front case, it just had the word rental on it, and the disc itself just was white. It had Orphan and then had the big word rental on it. So I'm guessing it was like a special DVD or something. I'm not really know. But yeah, thanks for sticking around, and watching all my awesome Gohastings goodness. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the underbar below. If you have any recommendations, please tell me. I like to watch new stuff. I get kind of bored. Even though I got 50 titles now, I don't think I can get bored now. But anyways, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.